Hey everybody, Coach Dan here to talk about downhill running today. We're going to talk about why and how you can crush the downhills, get those quads strong enough to handle the extra strain, and make up time in your next race. You can really beat up your legs when trying to run downhill quickly, especially your quads. Part of the reason for that is that eccentric contraction that causes an elongation in your quads as you run down the hill. You want to make sure your quads are really strong and properly stretched to get great at downhill running. So how do we do it? How do we get bulletproof running downhill? You want to start slow. Part of what happens when you run downhills hard is you get a ton of DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. Running downhills hard can really bang you up a lot. Today we're going to do some things that are going to help you get great at it. And the first way to get better at running downhill is, you guessed it, running downhill. Now, before you just start banging away on a downhill workout, there's a few things I want you to keep in mind. Something that happens when we're running downhill is that we take fewer steps. Our cadence decreases, our stride gets longer, and we're more likely to heel strike. That really exacerbates the problem of having that extra pressure put on your muscles and joints because of the downhill running. And so I want you to really focus on keeping that cadence high, smaller steps, and a mid-foot strike instead of a heel strike. Doing all those things is going to give you better form. It's going to help you run downhill quickly and safely. And it's going to make sure that when you're doing this kind of workout, you don't make the problem worse. Now, running downhill seems easier at times, and so I want you to make this hard on yourself. You've got to keep the pace high while you're doing it. If you do it that way, it is going to feel like a workout, even though initially the bursts are going to be relatively small. So I want you to hike to the top of your favorite hill. For me, it's this trail down here at Torrey Point, and run down with those tight steps for 20 seconds. When you get to the bottom, turn around and head straight back to the top. I want you to hike to the top of the hill. When you get to the top, that's when you really take a break. Take 20 or 30 seconds there, then start again. And here's what you're gonna do. You start at 20 seconds, go to 40, go to 60. So one set's 20 seconds, then 40 seconds, then 60 seconds of downhill running, then 60 seconds, 40 seconds, 20 seconds. That's 6 sets of downhills. That's a great way to get started. Now, if you're not sure you're strong enough to do that right away, don't worry, I've got an exercise for you that's gonna get those quads ready for action. My favorite exercise to make sure my quads are ready for the downhills is called the Bulgarian split squat. I love it. You can do it at home with a chair, at the gym with a bench, or out here with a rock. In a perfect world, you'd do 3 sets of 10 reps on this, and as you found it easier and easier, you'd grab some dumbbells to add some weight or put on a weight vest like I sometimes do. But it's way more important that you do this right. And so if you're only gonna do a few reps, just make sure they're right. There is some chances of getting some negative impacts of doing, oh, hey, Mr. Dragonfly, how are you? Gosh, you like my salty sweat. Off you go, bud. Whoa. So I wanna make sure that you're doing this right so you don't hurt your knee. So keep that knee behind the big toe as you do them. The posture is everything here. Shoulders back, try to keep your hips nice and square, all the way down, keeping that knee behind the big toe and back up. Uneven ground makes this even tougher, but trust me, it is worth it to stay outside. And so you've got 1 foot back on a chair, bench, or a rock, and you're gonna go down nice and slow, pause a little at the bottom. Right when you're here, again, that knee can't go beyond the big toe, shoulders back, head up, straight back up. 3 sets of 10 per leg. When that gets easy, time to grab some weight. I know it's fun to get strong enough to run the uphills. I love that feeling too, but the truth is my favorite thing about running is when I can feel flowy and loose and free running down a big trail. These exercises today will help you get that feeling, but part of it has to be confidence as well. You've got to get your legs strong enough to do the work, and then you've kind of got to take the brakes off and turn your brain off. Let yourself get flowy and enjoy what it is to run downhill on an open trail. Now, if you want to run the downs, you've got to get to the top. And so check out this video over my shoulder for ways to make sure you're ready to crush the uphills as well.